Welcome to the Overcome Depression podcast, where we offer hope and healing for those struggling with depression. I am your host, Jennifer Sterling Campbell, and today we are going to be talking about 4 words never to say to someone who is depressed. So there are some things that you don't want to say to someone struggling with an eating disorder, and there's things you don't want to say to someone who's struggling with anxiety, and some things you don't want to say to someone who just struggles with the words that you're saying. And this particular sentence, while no one wants to really hear this, is especially damaging to someone, I believe, struggling with depression. The words are, "I'm worried about you." And the reason that I'm worried about you is the wrong thing to say to someone who's depressed is because they're already worried about themselves. They already know that they're struggling and that maybe if other people are losing hope in them, that they should just lose hope altogether. The words, "I'm worried about you," I think are often said in earnest because we care, but the person who's receiving those words, it's often doing more damage than good. Alternatively, if we offer words such as, "This is really hard. I know you're going through this hard thing," or "This is really hard to watch. I love you so much, and I don't want you to get hurt," or "I don't want you to continue down this path," or "I am struggling with this decision you're making," I feel like the energy is different. You can then say something along the lines of, "I know you can do this. I know God has a plan for you. I know you are capable, that God has given you gifts and talents that you may not see yet that will help you get through this. With God, I know you can do this, and I hope and pray you let Him." That's what we need to hear, or something similar along those lines. You can rephrase it, but try to steer away from, "I'm worried about you. You're not doing what I think you should do, so I'm worried about you." I just wanted to end with some messages from a woman named Anna Louise Walker. She's no longer with us and probably not renowned or famous, but this woman's life was shared to me by a friend who knew her personally, and she worked with individuals and families, and he said that she just had this way of communicating with people in ways that they were willing and open to listening to her. And she had this incredible love for the people that she was working with so that they would actually open up and start to change. And I want to say that I am not there in any sense of the word. Sometimes I struggle in my communication and I would like to become better, especially when it comes to my children, my husband, my friends and family. And some of the suggestions that she shared for communication start with fundamental techniques in handling people. And the principle number 1 is don't criticize, condemn, or complain. And I'm going to have a list of these on my website, overcomedepressionpodcast.com, so you can print this off for yourself. Principle 2, give honest and sincere appreciation. Principle number 3, arouse in the other person an eager want. So it comes from encouragement, not suppression, right? Then 6 ways to make people like you. Principle 1, become genuinely interested in other people. So talk about them, not yourself, which sometimes I struggle with, honestly. Principle number 2, smile. Principle number 3, remember that a person's name is the sweetest and most important sound in any language. And I know this, and I'm really bad at names, so I agreed to coach the 3-year-old's soccer team, and I'm like, I just had a baby, but no one would volunteer. And so I finally agreed to volunteer, and then we went to the first practice yesterday, and I realized why. Everybody pretty much had new babies and a 3-year-old, all these young families. And so I started coaching these 3-year-olds, but I asked everyone to send me pictures of their kids before the first practice so that I could practice their names. And oh, what a difference it made. Those kids responded because I knew their names. Principle 4, be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. We need to be listening about 70% of the time, maybe talking about 30% of the time. Again, not something that's not necessarily easy for me. Principle 5, talk in terms of the other person's interests. And principle 6, make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. You're not just doing it because you want something, in other words, or you want them to like you. You're doing it because you care about them. Here are her suggestions for how to win people to your own way of thinking, how to not get into fights, essentially, especially if you're talking about religion or politics. So we talked about that in the recent podcast number 52, Depressed About the ICE Agent Shooting, A New Perspective. So if you haven't heard that one, go check it out. So principle number 1, the only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. So my thought was, well, how do you avoid an argument if you're talking about heated topics? Well, let's keep going. Principle 2, show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you're wrong or some variation of that. Principle number 3, if you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Don't try to justify yourself or beat around it, right? Just say, yeah, you're right. Principle 4, begin in a friendly way. Principle number 5, get the other person saying yes, yes, immediately. Like you're saying something that resonates to them, so they're going, yes, yes, yes. I thought that was incredible advice. Principle 6, let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Again, about 70% them, 30% you. I could take that advice myself. Principle 7, let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. And that can be considered manipulation, but in a good way, that they're coming up with their answers because you're possibly asking the right questions. Principle 8, try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. It helps a lot when you're not thinking about the next thing you're going to say. You're just listening. Principle number 9, be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Principle 10, appeal to the nobler motives, where their opinion is coming from. Even if you are 100% against how they feel, try to find the motivation behind what they're saying, which is probably based in a good cause. It may be the right reason, but the wrong thing, but you're still trying to appeal to their higher values, right? Principle 11, dramatize your ideas. Maybe tell stories, make them interesting and fun or funny. Principle 12, throw down a challenge. So her suggestions for being a leader. And she says a leader's job often includes changing your people's attitudes and behavior, not forcing people to do it, encouraging them till they do it themselves. Some suggestions to accomplish this are principle number 1, begin with praise and honest appreciation. Number 2, call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. So don't embarrass them in public, and maybe do it in a way that will not call them out, but they'll pick up on, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Principle 3, talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Principle 4, ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Make them think, right? Principle 5, let the other person save face. Don't humiliate them. If they make a mistake, try to make the situation less embarrassing for them. In a situation I was in at the airport, I was with 2 other gentlemen, and I was nowhere near the area where they were loading the plane. And you have to have an exact count of the bags before you load the plane. And you're supposed to count as well as use the technology to count the bags on your device. The device ran out of battery, and the other person had not been counting manually. And he was really upset because the other guy let the device fail, and he was trying to blame the other guy and was really mad because we were all going to get in trouble because the plane was going to be late. Well, I ran back to the office, which was, I would say, at least a quarter mile away. We got another device. Manager came out, helped us get the plane off. I talked to the 2 other guys. The guy was fuming about the other guy not making sure that the device had enough battery. It's his fault. And I said, we all could have stopped this from happening. We all played a part. We could have counted the bags. I knew I was nowhere near where they needed to be counting the bags, but I included myself in that equation to deflate the man who was upset, and it worked like a charm. He calmed down immediately because I wasn't saying, well, you should have been counting the bags. I said, we could have counted the bags, and we didn't. We learned from this. Let's move on. We all played a part, and we did, and it was okay. I think none of us got in too much trouble that day, which was nice. So again, let the other person save face. Don't be cast and blame game if not necessary. Principle 6, praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your appreciation and lavish in your praise, even if it's just a little improvement. Works great for toddlers too. Principle number 7, give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Principle 8, use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. This isn't to minimize their struggle if they're really struggling with something, but to, again, give them that confidence that you can do this, not I'm worried about you. You can do this. What do you need? With help, we can make this easier for you. Principle 9, make the other person happy about doing the things you suggest. I know that's a long list, but I'll provide it on my website if you want to click the link below this podcast. Just some things to think about, and maybe pick one of them and think about it the next time you have a conversation, no matter what it is. No matter what it is. It could be a difficult one, it could be an easy conversation, but just start making at least one of these a habit. Again, these aren't all easy for me, but certainly a good way to help people not see your side of things is to get angry and start arguing. And I think the art of not arguing, but allowing the person to basically try to argue with you, and then you just be that person who's refusing to argue back. You're just using these techniques. What a beautiful gift. It's one that I want to absolutely master one day. The more of us who master this, we can make this world a more peaceful and beautiful place. So with that said, thank you for listening to the Overcome Depression podcast this week. I hope that some of these ideas have given you some inspiration to work towards, and I'm Jennifer Sterling Campbell. See you soon. If you are new to this podcast, please go watch all of the hashtag introduction videos first, and then consider downloading the Overcome Depression workbook. Links in the description. The content in this podcast is based on my own personal beliefs, is for informational purposes only, and is not intended to substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please refer to the full legal disclaimer in the description.